Alrighty guys, welcome back once again, back live, Leather Pocket, Calgary, Alberta, Canada. My name is Grant, sitting beside, of course, Mr. Chris Demers. We got it going on, Chris.
Yeah, it's been a great day of pool so far, and this final looks to be a really good match.
It is certainly shaping up to be that way. Ben Francis taking on Joe Spence, or vice versa. Looks like Ben's figured out a little something with his break. Made a ball on the break. Has position on the 2.
Yeah, he's been having some real struggles on this table with the break, so it's good that he saw one, even though it was a bit of a kick in, but
he got there.
Yeah.
Jerry K and my man, how are you, Peter? How are you, my man? Of course, and as always, guys, if you can help us out, hit that share button, give it a little bit of love. We are set for a barn burner. They're roadies, they're teammates. They know how to play this game. Going to be pretty feverish pace, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's always a good match when you have players that have played together a lot, or teammates and stuff like that play each other. It's always usually a good match.
And neither one of them just no stranger to this game. It is going to be a really great final. Ben, of course, going to have to come back, and if he wants to win it, got to do the double dip on Joe. Much appreciated, Pete.
And as this is a fair match one, there's no difference between the first and second matches. If it goes to 2, both of them will be racing to 7. That is something I'd only just thought about. There seems to be no advantage to being in the hot seat as opposed to the B final from the double dip, only just that you have to win 2 matches.
Mm-hmm. Well, with only a 2-point difference on Fargo rate between these two fellas, it is set to be a really great match. Forward underneath. Doesn't want to be hampered by the 9th ball. He's okay. He can either take that top right or top left, whichever he prefers. First place prize, 950 big ones. $700 going to second place. Just a little bit of cheddar on the line.
Both of them are still getting good paydays no matter what, but you know they both want that first place money.
They want that first place. I don't know if it's about the money for them. Not at that spread.
It's the bragging rights.
It's the bragging rights.
And unfortunately, Ben has rattled the 6th ball and left it open for Joe to take a first lead.
And true to form, Joe gets up. He's going to be able to clean this out. Draw first blood. Larry says, Michelle and I will be in Calgary next weekend. Might have to do some barbecue ribs. I'm in, brother. I don't think that's a case of might have to do ribs. I think that's a prerequisite.
Well, the weather's going to cooperate as well.
Oh, so. He might overhit.
No, he's fine. Whew. He can take it to the left side of the 10. He should be good.
Switch hitting. Overhit again. Ooh. Just slightly.
You see,
won't pose as a problem for him, but
that's one where I'd like to overhit it a bunch and take it to the whole other side rather than risk feathering
I agree.
it.
However, proves to be no big deal. No ranch. Oh no, you gotta have ranch, Larry. Come on. They think I'm weird because I like my my steak also to have ranch.
And they would be
ranch.
Correct.
Ranch belongs on everything.
No, you're talking about Calgary beef and you're talking about some good steak. There's certain things I'd put on it. Ranch isn't one of them.
Okay, so here's the difference though, is I'm not at the keg. I'm not going out for, high-end steak. This is house steak, made at home. Ranch dressing belongs. We were just over at the keg 2 nights ago, maybe 3. Friday night. And I had a filet mignon and no ranch. Don't need it with a filet. You don't need no sauce with a filet. None.
That's nothing to do then with the.
Larry says he ruined my steaks.
Larry, I am completely 100% on board with that.
Nah.
So
You'll see, there'll be a few viewers in here that agree with me. That
if you're worried about the quality of your house steaks, then that's where you need the improvement.
perhaps.
For those of you
But
who
even
can't see,
then, if I'm eating at home, it's going to have ranch dressing on it.
for
Baked
those,
potato has ranch dressing on it.
fair enough. But for those of you who don't know me or haven't seen me, I am not on the smallish size, and you can credit my wife's good cooking, and she makes those steaks just as good as the restaurants. So there's no ranch here.
Ranch good.
So
You know what I'm curious about? If the 1-2 is wired up to this bottom right-hand corner, I'm really curious with this.
Well, he's got the push out from the brakes, so.
Well, and I think that was a smart push. I mean, Ben will be able to see the one ball, but I think that was a smart push.
Well, does he play the one rail kick to try and stick the cue ball behind the 2?
Bruce agrees, no ranch.
The risk is, of course, if the 1 clips the 2 at all, then you're not going to get safe. But
Yeah. Well, and tough shot for Ben here, even to try to get it safe. Right, he's looking to squeeze the 1 off that left side rail, perhaps back on top of the 2, and just leave the cue ball. Might hit this just underneath, so he can stick that cue ball underneath.
well, that's what I was thinking. But I was almost thinking you go to the short rail at the top rather than the long rail for that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, right on. Eric Vargas winning the Leon Long Fox tournament in Billings, Montana. I know there was some pretty heavy competition down there. Eric was there. Mark V was there. I know my partner in crime in Jam Up Apparel, Damien Pong Panic, was down there. Other than that, I wasn't really sure who went. Johnny Triple P, I think, is down there as well. Well, blue cheese never belongs on anything. That doesn't even belong in the grocery store. It's not an option.
A bit more of a convert to blue cheese.
Same as
in my
cream
later
cheese,
years.
or not cream cheese. What is it? Cottage cheese. Just a no-go.
No, that stuff's just wrong. But
There's nothing right about it.
I don't know which cottage they made that in, but not a buy.
Return to sender.
Speaking of return to sender, Ben returned it back, and then we've had a couple of safeties, and Ben's made a good one here to get a jump shot, which I think he called into the side.
Tough jump shot. I don't know if you want to call that in the side.
Oh, and he hops over the 6
He
and still
double
gets
hopped it.
contact.
Did you see that? He
Yeah.
double hopped that, hit just before the 6, hopped over and caught the 1 on the way through. If that wasn't perfect, I don't know what was. It does deserve the emoji.
It does. You haven't used it yet today,
I have
but
not.
I think that one's definitely a candidate.
Yeah, no blue cheese, no cottage cheese. It doesn't work. It's not
See,
allowed.
Now you're just prejudiced.
No, I'm telling you. It's just no good.
So I think Ben's going to try and take it underneath the 10 and try and spin into the 1 here. I don't know if he's going to try and make it or if his goal is to just try and clip it and try and come to the other rail.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to clip this. Just get the 1 safe. Oh, we're going back down to the corner with
Pretty
right where we started.
hit it pretty heavy, but he left a pretty easy safe for Joe here.
He did. He is not going to like it. Joe's going to suck him right to the backside of that 2 ball. Or attempt to get right to the backside of that 2.
Well, he got more than enough there. and the 4 makes it a little bit more challenging.
I think he can come above that 4 ball, maybe even have a little bit of Czech English, so left-hand English. I don't think Ben will have an issue with the hit here.
Well,
and there is a chance that the 2 ball kind of goes back off that left side rail back to where it is.
The challenge is, yeah, he can definitely contact the 1. The challenge is contacting the 1 and not leaving anything, right? At this level, you leave it open, and these guys are out a lot of the time.
100%.
So.
Well, and they both kick like mules. They both
Just
kick
the way
extremely
he's playing
well.
it, I think he might have an edge.
Indeed. Well, we may as well say it while Ben's eyeing this up, guys. If you are just tuning in, help us out. Hit that share button. Give it a little love down on the bottom left-hand side of the screen. If you are tuning in on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, you can copy the stream link.
Oh, that was fantastic weight by Ben there to bring the 1 to the rail.
Yeah, nice shot. Joe might have that outside edge of the 1 ball, in which case fairly easy to cut the shine off the ball, leave the 1 ball down on that rail. Cue ball 2 rails back up to the same position that it's in. May even use the 10-3 to hide a little more of that 1 ball.
Which he did. That's a great response.
Left the window, may have left that gap between the 10 and the 3, so it's a bank shot, hit and stick here for Ben, even if he draws into a little bit of the 3 and just fully utilize that 10.
He's either going to do that or he's going to go around the 3 and go into the 1 there. If he doesn't feel comfortable with the window.
I think it's more the bridging. That 4 ball's causing a little bit of issue. Touch the 4 ball.
Yeah.
So that answers the question as to whether it's all ball fouls or cue ball fouls only. Joe says not a biggie. Yeah, perfect. Just misses the 6.
And forcing him to a jump again.
Joe's pretty deadly with that jump cue. I would actually favor him based on the position of the 1 and the cue ball. He gets over these no problem. I favor him to actually make the jump here. Especially if he carries through the same way he was jumping from yesterday. Just a little on the outside. Nice tap of the table there from Ben. Love that sportsmanship. Acknowledges a good attempt. So a hit and a stick here from Ben, I think. Maybe even a touch draw.
Well, he's a touch off angle here. And
Just has to draw beyond the 6 ball.
He has to do a little bit with it, not much.
Yeah,
he
just
draw it
like
back
that.
half a ball.
Yeah. Perfect will do. Draw just beyond the 7 ball. Even if you punch into the 7, you're okay.
Yeah. Bit of low left and should be able to come just below the 7.
Yep. Nice roll, smooth stroke here. Nope, going on the, gets the jelly rub. I thought he was going to be behind that 7 ball.
As you said, you know, as long as he's hitting it strong enough to make contact, he can punch that. Not quite what you were looking for, but the result's the same.
The result does work. Nice clearing out of the path of the 7 ball there. Nice angle on the 4. Punch off the rail and get himself positioned on that 6 to the left side pocket. Oh yeah, Rick, we've been here. Most certainly, we're looking to get back to the same way that we were prior to COVID. Lots of streams gonna go on this year for sure. Some bigger ones, some notable ones coming down the pipes. We'll also be in Vegas for the VNEA show, and we're gonna up our game a little bit with the stream in Vegas for VNEA. We'll be streaming the finals dome, as they call it, along with having a roaming stream. We'll also be doing coverage of the Suds and Chips and the banquet. So
You going to be streaming in 3D this time, or?
Not yet. 3D tech is not quite to that level yet, but when it advances to that technology, we will certainly be there.
I've got my glasses already.
We're actually looking at bringing in some pretty cool technology over the next, year, 2 years. If we can do it before then, great. But some of the tech that we're looking at is phenomenal. I had a really good conversation while I was down in Tucson with, I won't mention names, but with the gentleman that I spoke to. We had a meeting set, and then the one day where I did have time, I ended up talking with him for about 4 hours prior to the meeting that we had scheduled.
Oh.
So, and just the smartest man in the room with no question. Really, really intelligent guy, lots of tech in what he's doing, and we're spitballing ideas back and forth based on what we're doing, based on what he's doing, and how do we incorporate everything, and phenomenal stuff.
Tech is one of those things that really came to pool a bit later, but it's now coming really with a vengeance.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and draws the cue ball back to the side.
Rick says he's been doing events in Europe. Very nice. What streaming? What? Tell us more, Rick. What's your platform? Where can people find your events? I'm assuming, Joe, you're talking in regards to the fact that I think we finally figured out the balance between the left and the right on the mics. I believe both are now live. We got the left sound and the right sound. Mostly 3-cushion. Very nice. Well, Rick, if you're interested, send us a message either to the page or via email. You can send it actually to grant@qsportslive.com. Maybe we can do a little bio or something to help you out down there, over there, up there, around there.
Be good to see some 3-cushion streaming. It's a much lesser known sport, but there's a lot of really interesting games to watch with it.
Then I'm lost, Joe. He says, "LOL, nope." I'm not sure what you're in reference to, but that's all right.
Well, I'm to the right of you, so maybe he's talking about me. That's great.
He very well could be. You've been smashing it on the mic, so.
All right, so just a little bit of follow and stun to bring it across to the
Might have to
rail.
hit this with a little bit of right hand. Just get down there where where he needs to be. Okay, goes by the 8 ball.
It must.
For him to draw that to that position, that 6 must go by the 8.
It's one of those ones where seeing it on the stream is not nearly as easy as seeing it in life.
Right. The handicap. Oh, I got you. I see. You're in agreement with me. I see. You've crossed over to the dark side. Oh, very nice. Interesting little factoid there from Rick. Tom Rossman in college won the NCAA 3-cushion championships. That was where he developed the diamond system that he now teaches. Very nice. Joe getting the job done in that rack. Told you the Heights of Fargo will win. The spot is not right. Well, and again, Joe, I'm going to go back to exactly what I said at the top of this. The best player should win. Doesn't mean anything. That's simply my take. If you enter into a tournament, especially the 7,500, 100 and a quarter entries, the best player should win, regardless of what their Fargo says.
Yeah, I think this gives other players a better opportunity, but over a long race, the stronger Fargo rating typically handles
Well, and even
the
take it away
pressure
from
better.
Fargo, right? Take it away from Fargo. Let's say we were just doing a straight handicap, and you handicap the money, and let's say the Bs pay $15 and go to 3, and the A's pay 20 and go to 5, and what? Doesn't matter how you mix it, whether it's Fargo or not. The strongest player who plays well should win the tournament. Period.
So Jay, to your question, yes, it is winter break in this format.
You got it, Rick. Is this winner breaks or rotating? I believe it's winner breaks.
It is.
But again, it really depends on what you view as valuable. In this particular format in a pool hall setting, I understand why they do it. They need, the same as every pool hall, they need butts and chairs. They got a business to run, so I get it.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I know we talked about this earlier, and it's nice to have these once in a while. I think that if you did it all the time, it would become a little bit off.
Yeah.
Not too much of anything.
Yeah. I just don't see the value in it in the growth of pool, right? I get it in sense of businesses and wanting to put butts in the seats, and that's what they're meant to do as a pool hall.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to get better, right? Let's say even myself. Okay, I'll use myself as an example. Myself and Ben, if he's racing to 8 and I only got to go to 4, do I get to claim that I beat Ben Francis? Never. I beat the spot. I never beat Ben Francis. If I want to beat Ben, I'm going to have to go to Ben and say, play me sets, races to 8, no handicap, no spot, get my head kicked in 700 times before I finally dummy up and get better.
We could put the asterisk beside it and call it wind aided.
Well, what, sir?
Put the asterisk beside it and call it wind aided.
Yeah, right. Yes, but again, right, Joe, I'm going to go back to my same point. Pool is not fair, the same as life is not fair. Generally speaking, the best is just going to come out on top.
Speaking of which, Joe seems to be navigating this rack quite well after breaking 2 balls.
My goodness. That 7-ball wiped its feet, but found the back of the pocket. Stroking him well.
This will be a break and run from Mr. Spence.
Stroking well. Ben gives the old tap of the knee, says nice out, Joe. Love to see that sportsmanship level. But of course, easy to do. These guys are teammates. Roadies, friends, all of the above.
Yeah, it's the sportsmanship of the game. There's been so many stories, both good and bad, about incidents, and you and I have, of course, heard so many of them. It's great to see that the quality of the matches and the quality of the sportsmanship has been steadily improving.
Yes, I would agree with you 100%. Josh is asking on YouTube, any One Pocket streams? One Pocket hasn't quite caught on here in Calgary yet. It's starting to bubble up a little bit. I'll take Ben for 20 if he gets back to the table. Well, and Ronnie says I have to spot Ben for. No, that would put me out of the runnings.
Well, Ben did in fact get back to the table here as Joe broke dry. And he makes a very good off-the-rail shot with shape to get down for the 2, so he's got a good chance at this rack.
Yeah. And I'll say, for Laura, for significantly lesser skilled players that want to compete, it would be discouraging to donate and be two and out week in and week out. And I'll say this, that's exactly what I did. I went back and I got my lessons. I got, all of those things handed to me. And I kept going back because I don't look at it short term, right? It seems to be that pool is one of those games where, people mind spending money and we're known as not spending money. Yet we're the same ones that'll go out and pay $100 to play a round of golf using $2 balls and shank them into the woods every second hole, and we don't think a second thought of it, right? And, it just goes to my viewpoint, and whether I'm right or wrong really is irrelevant because at the end of the day, we've all got our own opinions, and that's fine.
Yeah, I did see someone that I was talking with yesterday who was talking about that and had the same opinion. Basically, they were saying, I play golf and I have no problems dropping $600 on a club, but would be more concerned about spending that on a pool cue that I'm going to use way, way more.
Mm-hmm. And by and large, billiards is still one of the cheapest sports to kind of get into and be able to play at. Because you don't need a $600, $1,000, $1,500 cue. You can get into the sport for a $300 cue that plays well, put a good tip on it, buy a decent case, and you're in, you're playing.
Yeah, from an equipment perspective, it's definitely one of the sports where while you can spend a lot of money, you don't have to start into it, right? Like my daughter, she's...
nice double horn out.
My daughter's a skater, and, skates alone, the skates, they now have them where the skate blades and the boots you actually buy separately.
Yeah.
And they're $800, $900 for...
Oh, my gosh.
That's not even including ice time. That's not even including all the other stuff. So compare that with pool where you can buy, I would say, you get a $99 cue to start, which will be perfectly serviceable if you're just learning the game and get you off and you're on your way.
Yeah.
And one of the best things about Calgary as a pool town in general is there's no lack of people who will play you some games and teach you. And I've seen so many players who have been up and comers or just starting out, and they get plenty of instruction and stuff from people. So it's really that part of the game I treat just as much as sportsmanship and being such a good thing for pool compared to a lot of other sports.
Yeah. Well, and it's my viewpoint. Nice little run out here from Ben, especially after that double horn shape shot. So really nicely done to claw one back on his side of the ticker. But I've had this discussion several times where you hear, a lot of players say, "Oh, there's no money in pool," and my argument back, or my statement back, is, of course there's no money in pool because we don't put it in. Right? I've been playing league level pool for 20 some odd years, 28 years. And 28 years ago, I was paying $20 a week to play in league. And I pay $20 a week 28 years later to play in league. Yet inflation's gone up, labor's gone up, the cost has gone up. And so you look at cause and effect, right? Back in those days, $20 actually meant something. It was good money, right? And the prize pools were good, and there was excitement level because the money was there. And fast forward 28 years later, you go down to BCA, VNEA, the rake is 50 to 60% because their costs have gone up. The cost of rentals have gone up. And of course, those got to be covered. It's got to come from somewhere. So my argument is, if we want money in pool, double or triple up on the league fees. Now there's money in the game.
I know what you're saying, and there's another aspect to it that I kind of see when we're talking about that. And let's take out the professional level. Just kind of drop that for now.
Sure.
I'm going to throw an analogy out here. There's tons of money in golf, but so what? If you're not playing at a professional level, you're still just going out and paying your round fee, and you're playing and you're having a good time.
That's it.
For the majority of pool players that are not going to be pros, there's no money in it. Okay. And?
Yeah. Yeah. Good point.
Right? I still go out and have a round of golf. I still go out and play pool.
That's it. But I think if we were to double up on the league fees at minimum, right? So instead of paying $20 a week, pay $40 a week. Now that rake that we experience at a 50% rate goes to a 25% rate, that leaves 75% of the money available for the prize pool.
Yeah, that's just math and business.
Yes, of course. Yeah. But think of the excitement that would create, right? Yes, you're going to lose, a few players that say, "Oh, I'm not going to pay $40 to play pool."
Mm-hmm.
You'll come back because the prize money at the end will draw you back, right? Because now it's worth it to play.
No, I totally agree with you, right? And let's take even the leather pocket here.
Mm-hmm.
You look at the price to come play here. That price can't be beat.
Nope.
I can come here at 11 a.m. in the morning, and for less than the price of a movie, I can stay here till 6 and play the whole day. How can you beat that kind of value?
You can't.
So is there no money in pool? Yes and no. It depends on what your goals are.
Certainly.
Now, speaking of goals here, I think Joe's goal here is to just try and come across one rail to come out for the 4. I don't think he can hold
gap
it.
Between the 9-6.
And he has done that nicely.
To perfection. Yeah, I play 3 times a week, but again, I look at it as an investment in myself, right? If I truly want to get better at the game, I have to look at the lessons I'm going to be taught by playing straight up against a Joe or a Ben or any of the top players. It's an investment in myself, right? And my own abilities and my own skill, and you learn so much by playing them.
And also, how many people are actually coming and playing 3 times a week, right? Like, no disrespect, Laura, to what you're saying there. The reality is that for those people that are coming out and playing one league, and maybe they are concerned because the prize funds aren't as big as they would think they are, I think Grant's argument holds a ton of water.
For sure. Well, like you said, it's business, it's economics, and kind of understanding that cash flow.
Sure.
Improve great opportunities for local region. Well, and that's just it, Rob, right? And thank you for tuning in. It has been a hot minute since I've seen your name up here, Rob, so I appreciate you tuning in. But I mean, it's cause and effect, right? Put money in the game, and all of a sudden, well, there's money in the game, and that'll attract back in people that say, well, I don't want to play 3 times a week and put in $40 every time I play, right? That's fine. Cut it back. Go to 1 or 2.
Yeah, there's alternatives you can play there.
Certainly.
So Joe has really navigated this rack well. He made a very thin cut on the 5 into the side, and now he's in the shape here to go back up 2 racks.
Yeah, and Laura, I'll agree with you there, right? At the friendship and just going out to have a good time, not really worrying about your skill level. There are certainly arguments for those players for sure.
Yeah, Joe tried to do the drawback and come up and came a little bit short of where he wanted.
Lose the cue ball a little bit here.
It's the top left. That's the problem.
Oh, he's perfect.
He's good.
Really nice back cut. So both guys having a race to 7. Joe leading the way. Needs 3 games to close escrow on the match. Take the title and the cash. So at this point, guys, I got to give a shout out to the league that we have coming up. It is the CSL IPL, Q Sports Live International Pool League, open to all players around the world. You simply need an internet connection and access to a table, be that at home or at the pool hall. We have a division for all skill levels. It is playing against the Ghost, competing against players all over the world. It is now also sponsored by Predator. So in the open division on the 7-foot and the 8 and 9 foot, you don't only win the cash, you also get a spot into the Predator Pro Billiard Series. You can check that out, cslipl.com. Next session starts February 7th. We will have a Q&A on that as well. That's coming up on Wednesday evening, 7 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. That'll be myself and Ben. We will answer any questions that you may have regarding the league.
So one of the other things that I've heard you talking about the league here, Grant.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that you haven't really mentioned very much about it, and I think is a real selling feature of it,
Mm-hmm.
For the people here who've been watching the stream, they watch the stream because you get to watch some good pool and you get to learn stuff.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things you get with the IPL not only is the ability to compete yourself, but the ability to go back and watch all of the other players competing. And, if you're looking for an instruction manual or a book or a chance to watch matches, you can't really beat the value you get of being able to watch that many matches at every level.
Of course, yeah.
I think that's
and I think, you bring up a good point. So just so everybody is aware, and I try to keep my stuff on the league, a little bit tempered because I understand, of course, my opinion comes across as biased, but there are so many elements about the league and what it does for your game. I can't recommend it enough. I can't say enough, guys. If you're going to Vegas and you're going to compete in ACS, VNEA, BCA, any of those events, any big tournament, and you want your game to get better, go on there, get yourself registered, and play the Ghost. Add the purpose to your practice. It is streamed to a private page. You get to see players at every different level. The group camaraderie is unbelievable. It has really recreated, and I don't know how we did it. It was simply byproduct of how we accomplished it and put it all together, but it's recreated the same type of feeling that you get when you go out and you compete in Vegas. Mm-hmm. It's that same type of feeling.
So Joe just tried to draw the ball back here, but he also did something with the rest. Again, with the people with the rest, I find that, even at the top levels, a lot of the times they stab at it. And because of that stab, they lose a lot of the action that they were looking for. And so he came off a lot less than he wanted to.
I still think he's okay here. I believe the 8 passes that 10 to the bottom right, I think.
Yeah, he's okay here, but it certainly makes the shot and the shape a little bit more complicated than what he was hoping for if it could come out another 4 inches.
Agree.
Right, so see now he's got to fire it in.
Look at this.
He's left it a good and easy makeable shot for him, but there's a challenge there.
Yeah, you got it, Rick. You and me both. That's kind of where I learned a lot of the tricks to the game. I've refed for SML. I've been the head ref for 17 years, and it has certainly taught me a lot. Being a B player and reffing master players and watching them do what they do. Right?
Yeah, it was something I was thinking of getting into there, Grant, is going and getting my ref just because the understanding of the rules and the chance to go and watch a bunch of good players.
Good point, Catherine. Yes, they all start February 7th of 2022. I will go in tonight and change that. My apologies for that.
All right, so it looks like just a pretty straightforward stop shot for Ben here to get to the 10.
And Ben doesn't mind capitalizing on the mistake there. But an important game right there.
The difference between 5-2 and 4-3 is pretty big.
It's pretty significant, that's for sure. How are you, John? Thanks for tuning in. How much money is in bowling? Not sure. I am not I'm not a bowler, so I wouldn't know. And these guys are going to go on break, so
I think professional bowling has quite a bit of money in it.
I would imagine so. Yeah.
But I mean, like the league, regional, national level in the U.S. I don't know if it is elsewhere.
Yeah, and I mean, you look at any other sport, and to kind of do that direct comparison between pool and really any other sport that's recognized, has structure, yada yada yada, it's not really going to directly translate, right? Where bowling has the structure, hockey has the structure, golf has the structure. Everything has structure, with exception to billiards, right? So it's certainly one of the areas that's on the agenda for us. And again, I know some may say I'm overstating my position. Just give it a couple of weeks and y'all will see some of the stuff that we've been working on and who we've been working on it with. And it is definitely on the agenda.
Yeah, pool's definitely the same, only different.
Robin Hood Cruise. Nice stream of guys watching from the land down under. Will we be at VNA in May? We will, John. I will be on the live stream. We'll be playing. I mentioned this earlier in the stream. We'll be doing the Dome, as it's affectionately known, as well as kind of have a wandering stream. We'll bring you all the action as much as what we can from just about anywhere. And then we'll be streaming the Suds and Chip party. And
that's always a good time.
It is. It will also bring you the banquet for the first time.
So, Rob, to your question, I believe, and Grant can correct me on this, I believe all of the divisions are 15 games against the Ghost, except for I think the Open might be 20.
It is. Division 1 and the Open Division are 20 games. Everything else under that is 15 games per week. You live stream your match to a private page, which you will get once you register. And every week, you choose when you play. It's one of the best things that we have going for the league. We don't dictate the times that you play. You can play at 1 in the morning. You can play on a Monday, on a Friday. You choose when you play.
Yes, Rob, they all have to be done in one session. You can't break it up, and that's obviously to prevent people from, not that I would say they would, but to prevent people from doing anything untoward.
Well, so you can always miss a week. You can play a week ahead. So it gives that extra bit of flexibility if you are heading out of town. So, for example, when I head down to Vegas for VNEA, I'll play a double week before. You just can't play them in the same night.
I think his question is, do you have to play all 15 games at the one time?
Oh, yes. Yeah, you can't break up the stream. It's got to be a continuous stream all the way through. But again, you also have the flexibility of missing a week or playing ahead a week, behind a week. So ultimate flexibility.
It's just like my mortgage.
Yeah.
Not that I miss a week.
That could work for me with my tournament schedule. Yeah, 100%, Rick. It's we've got players from all over the world. Great Britain, Philippines, France, all over the place. Lots in the States, lots in Canada. And you also get your BCA sanctioning, your ACS sanctioning, your CCS sanctioning. That all counts.
That's good value there, just alone.
Mm-hmm. So, well, and that's why you look at the entry fees that we have on there. We actually just lowered them again. On top of that, the sponsorship out of Predator, right? So in the Open Division, so each division you can play on a 7-foot or 8-foot and 9-foots play together. Mm-hmm. Okay, so in that Open Division, if you win that, you not only win the money, but you also win your spot into the Predator Pro Series as a paid entry. Rob, we've actually got a no cheat policy. So and you'll see that once you join the league and access to the private players page, there is a cheater's acknowledgement there. It's kind of one of the things that we have a pretty heavy-handed policy, and not that we want to be that way, but we have to be that way for the protection of players. Your match, when you go live, it is reviewed by not only us at Q Sports Live, but obviously with the number of players that we have playing, they will also be on. They'll also be watching your stream, and anybody caught to be cheating, you have an immediate lifetime ban and a forfeiture of all entry fees, all winnings, everything. It is extremely heavy-handed, and it just has to be that way.
Mm-hmm. So just coming back to the match here, Joe, who had ball in hand, was around on the 5 and tried a 3-rail to get to the rail and just came up a bit short. Mm-hmm. So he's now got to play a kick at it.
He did. Yeah, Rick, if you're out reffing and you're at an event, so long as it's on the correct size table, right? If you join in the 7-foot, everything you play has to be on the 7-foot table. If you go on the 8 and 9 foot, you can cycle back and forth between the 8 foot, 9 foot. I don't recommend that, but you could. So long as you're on the correct size table, you can stream it from anywhere. This week I can be in Calgary, streaming out of the leather pocket on a diamond 7 foot. Next week I'm at home streaming on a 7-foot valley. The week after I'm back down to Vegas on diamonds, whatever. So ultimate flexibility.
Yeah, Joe got a little bit fortunate here
Sure
on the
did.
kick.
He sure
It's a
did.
horn hook, but oh, what a great shot from Ben as a response. Not only to hit it, but to stick it so that he could leave it relatively safe.
That was well done. Don't know that he'll like his next shot, but
Probably not, but you know, it was. He didn't sell it out right away, and now he's got another chance.
yeah.
Do you go overland here? Or do you try the jump?
I don't think I try the jump. I think I come between the 8-10 off that bottom rail. Right, the 7's not in the best position, so if I can kick that 6 ball up, maybe even off that left side rail, kind of ended up on the top rail in the middle of the table.
You almost want to have to go 2 rails on that, because otherwise you're just hitting the 6 out into open space, and you're not really improving your position. I think it looks like, yeah, Ben has decided to go out with the short stick here, and he is going to try and jump and bank it.
Yeah.
There is something I like about this in the sense that if he does not make it, but he makes the jump, then at least he has a chance of getting safe here.
It is. We kind of do the same thing, Rob. Before each match that you play, you just post on the page that you'll be live in 10 minutes.
There we go. He did manage to make that jump safe.
Yeah. Leaves an easier hit for Joe here off the end rail, but nice little jump shot. Participated in some Coven turns. Oh, I read that already. But yeah, kind of the same thing. When you join the page, or when you join the league and you get access to the players page, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. 10 minutes prior to you going live, you post onto the page, and then you're expected to be live within that 10-minute window. Joe, I can't bet against either one of them. Right? You keep asking me to bet against Joe or Ben, and I can't bet against them. Oh, nice shot.
Oh, he got there. That's a fantastic shot.
Right, Joe is one of my sponsored players, yet to be announced, but he'll be one of the sponsored players that we'll make known here probably in the next week or two. And Ben being one of my homies and my business partner, I can't bet against any of them.
Tell you what, Joe, if you want the action, Grant can't do it. I'll take the winner for $30. Yeah,
it's actually gone over really well, Rob.
Oh, and look at this. Does he manage to get lucky? No, the kick off the 7. He doesn't sell it out, but again, that's...
Yes. I did it. Sorry, I just interrupted.
Yeah, I think what's going to happen is he's going to leave him pretty tough here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. No, he got it just.
I think Joe is in on that 6 ball. I did announce it as Joe being a sponsored player, but so y'all know, I don't just own Q Sports Live. I'm not just a partner in Q Sports Live. I'm also a partner in Jam Up Apparel, so not sure which one am I talking about. Under which company is he sponsored? And what is that detail? That's what's coming up.
Jam Up Apparel. It's not that place that has all that really cool pool flooring? Leading statement here.
Right. That is the spot. That's the one. And we have a big announcement coming out with Jam Up here either Tuesday or Wednesday. Biggest one that we have yet to announce. So you'll want to pay attention to that one. It's a big announcement. Gets hung up in the jaws.
Tried to force it for the 7 and ended up rattling it, but he got away with it. I guess the short cue's coming again. don't think there's a kick that he really wants to take on, but even the jump's kind of tricky here.
Victoria, BC. How are you, Keith? Rick says Jam Up has some great products. Very worth it. Thank you, Rick. We appreciate that.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I got my team shirts through them, and they actually did worked with us to do a custom logo, and it looks fantastic, and it's so great to wear when you're playing.
Comfortable.
Very much so.
That's one of the things that we've kind of mandated in the business, that if it's not quality, we're not doing it. It's just that simple. Oh yeah, Keith, we're doing well over here. We've got some big announcements coming, and I know I keep saying it. I promise you, it's coming. I would suspect within the next week or so, week and a half, we'll have it. And this I'll promise, it'll be the largest announcement that Q Sports Live has ever made in our history. So that'll tell you a little something about how big that announcement is, and really what I've been dedicating a lot of my time to over the last little bit.
So it looks like Ben had a bit of a malfunction there on the jump and left a fairly straightforward run out for Joe here.
Well, and keep in mind, for those that are chatting about it on YouTube about the mask being on the chin, keep in mind when they sit back down, you don't see what they're doing. They're actually drinking and all of those other kinds of things. So I think it's more of a habit of, not really thinking about putting it back on. It's, if somebody misses, your automatic focus is on the table, not on the mask.
Oh, and wow. What
Joe loves the arm sleeves. They are one of my favorite pieces on the Jam Up site. They're not one that we've promoted a whole lot, which will probably change here in this next year. You'll see a lot of changes going on at Jam Up, some new products, some new things coming out, some big announcements, and I love the arm sleeves. They're awesome.
Well, and so with that, the match is all square now at 4, so race to 3. This is, of course, the first set, so if Ben were to win it, they would play a second. And if Joe wins it, he becomes the champion.
And I can tell you that's the last thing I'm going to say on the mask thing. That can start a whole thing on both Facebook and YouTube. I'm simply saying that, the whole mask thing, there's a reason.
That's a Q&A session in and of
It is
itself.
a Q, yeah, that's the last time I'm bringing it up, so. When's the Speedo line being released? Oh, Tyler.
I think the last thing that anyone wants to see is me in a Speedo. So.
Oh, God. No. I don't even need to picture that.
So
let alone me in a Speedo, because that's, yeah.
Ben does manage to make the 6-ball off the break, but does not leave him a shot on the one. And
he's got a fairly easy kick on the one here, though. And if he hits this properly, he could leave it really well as well.
Yeah, I think he'll probably take that on.
Fabian says, hopefully some bigger sizes for the fluffy guys. We do have, I think we go all the way up to 5X. If my memory is correct. I really don't, quite honestly, I don't look at the sizing charts and, the general details of Jam Up. I work more on the business side. Jerry Kagan. Y'all should, you know what? This is what you need to do. For anybody that knows Damien Pong Panic, just send him a message. Tell him you heard on Q Sports Live that, you know, we need to bring this suggestion into him, and that you guys were supposed to message him in regards to doing Speedos. That's what you need to do. Blow him up. Blow up the comments. You see what happens, Tyler? You see what happens? This is what happens in pool. You start these comments. This is what's going on.
Joe, they absolutely do custom shirts. I will.
Yeah, we do custom.
I think I have a version of mine, and if I do, I will post it up on there for people to see.
Just send me a picture of it, and I can put it on the stream.
I can just post it on here as well.
Oh, I suppose you could. This is what happens when you're stuck in isolation. I see, Tyler. So you're the one that I can blame for starting a conversation about us developing Speedos. I will say this, we do have some pretty cool products that are coming out. We released a blanket, a hooded blanket for Christmas that went over really well, really, really comfortable. Really warm. I think that's now down and off the site.
Mm-hmm.
Think of all the novelty gag money that you'll be making. You expect a royalty check? Oh man, Tyler, I tell you. I don't think you can post it on there, Chris. I don't think it'll let you.
Darn
but if
Facebook.
you just send me a messenger with it,
Sure.
I can work miracles on this stream.
I have heard you are the miracle worker.
Every now and again, I might have a good idea. But for the most part, I simply try to maintain my status as part of the furniture, part of the woodwork. My claim to fame is that I don't know nothing, I never have, and I never will.
I can confirm.
Yeah.
Where are we at?
no speedo pics on the chat. Oh, how did we digress? How did we get here? Hey, how did this happen, Tyler?
So it looks like I think Joe's actually might be calling the 10.
Mm-hmm. I think he is. Wasn't Ben sponsored by CSI at one point? I don't think so, Tracy. I know that it was the CBSA that was trying to get Ben, and you'll have to forgive me because I can't remember the other gentleman's name, to go represent Canada at the World Cup of 9 ball for Matchroom. But Ben is sponsored by Jam Up Apparel.
And it looks like he's got a tricky shot here as Joe missed the 210 but left him in a pretty tough way. He might have to come back up off the rail.
Not CSI. CSL for sure, but not CSI. So there's two things, right? CSI is Q Sports International. They are the parent company to BCA. Or CSL, which is Q Sports Live.
Ben
Got a
made the
little
hit.
M&M going on the
Yeah.
tunage here in leather pocket.
So I think the 8 might, and Joe's checking it right now. I think he's looking to see if the 8-9 goes, so he doesn't have to worry about trying to make the 8 clean, because that 9's definitely an impeder.
Mm-hmm. BCA Pool League, not BCA, yes, BCA Pool League. I'd be concerned if CSL didn't want to sponsor Ben. Yeah, I think we might be concerned with that too. A
Yeah.
little bit of trouble here for Joe. I can't tell if he can make this 7-ball check that side rail come out for the 8-ball here. Or is the 8-9 wired to that right side?
Well, before he got on and played the 4 there, he was looking to see whether the 9 went, and given the way he's looking at it, I don't know if it does. Well, but he thinks that by hitting it from the left-hand side there, he can push it so that even if it's on the point, he can slide it a little bit with friction and push it into the pocket. And when they're that close together, they're touching. If you catch it slowly at about 45 degrees, you should be able to throw it a little bit. And he has.
Oh, lost the cue ball a little bit.
He wanted to hold it to the bottom there so that he had a shot. This is going to be a challenge.
Is he going to the corner? Side
He's
pocket,
not,
wow.
and hits it perfectly.
You know he's on his stroke when he decides to take that to the side pocket, hey?
Absolutely.
Very well done. Tough in on that, too.
And Joe retakes the lead.
Well, we may as well give the shout out, since we were talking about it, we may as well give a shout out to Jam Up Apparel. If you haven't been there as of late, go check them out. jamupapparel.com. Tons of new things on the website. Especially if you are heading to BCA. We just announced through Jam Up the partnership between us and CSI, the official clothing sponsor for Q Sports International.
So Tyler, to your question there, and as a result, if you do play in the Ghost League, you are sanctioned for ACS and BCA, but not for VNEA.
Yes, not VNEA yet.
Oh my word. Joe has just made a huge break there. He has broken 4.
Who what?
Joe just broke 4 balls.
Oh. And look at this. How dressed up is this table?
I'm not going to use the word roadmap, but it certainly is a... And that's why I don't use the word roadmap. The commentator curse has hit.
Oh my lord, Chris, you're taking after me.
Learn
I thought
from the-
I had the strongest commentator's curse.
I learned from the best.
Wow. Are we doing the referee shirts for CSI as well? There is talks about it. I believe we are currently in the design phase of some new referee shirts.
I think if
You are correct, Tyler.
I thought if you were playing in this one in February, you were good for this year, but I guess it's just a year forward?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they changed it, right? So they now work off the calendar year from January 1st to December 31st. That then qualifies you for the next year in Vegas.
That's the difference. I wasn't aware of that, so that's good to know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's Rick. You'll be one that's really interested in the announcement we have coming out with Jam Up. I believe, again, that'll come out either Tuesday or Wednesday. But something that we've put a ton of time into to get that deal done, and we're excited. It's big.
As big as that last shot, and Ben has just managed to draw it and hit between the 7 and the side pocket to pull it back to the 4. That's a really, really good shot. It's going to leave him in good shape here to finish this rack.
Fatigue for Joel? Maybe. I can tell you the pool room has now filled up again. The Leather Pocket now has their weekly tournament that has started, and it's back to the pool room being full, every table in use, multiple players per table. And so normally when you're in this final setting, you don't have to deal with that because everybody's already been through the tournament and sent home. You do get the, spectators, but not the guys that are walking, and you can see, there's a table on the right, a table up to the top right, one at the top middle, one at the top left, one at the direct left. There's a lot of traffic. So I don't know if on that particular shot, one of the players on that top left-hand table kind of distracted him a touch on that one ball.
Possibly.
But again, Ben will certainly take the gift, and we'll go 5-5.
Now just a race to 2.
Indeed. And once again, if you are just tuning in, make sure you've gone on to our Facebook page. Hit that like button on Facebook. If you're joining us on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe and the little bell. You'll get notified each and every time we go live. Trying to get back to where we were pre-COVID. And traveling across Canada and the U.S. and all over the country.
So Warren, just to repeat it, if you were to play in the CSL Ghost League match series that's coming up here in February, that would qualify you for the 2023 year.
Yes.
And Ben comes up dry again.
Yeah, I don't know how much the Twins play one pocket. Like I mentioned, it hasn't really caught on. There's some players in, like Ben plays a little one pocket, Joe plays a little one pocket, so does Eric. But for the mainstream, it really hasn't caught on yet, and I suspect that's just a matter of time. Absolutely, Peter. Welcome back.
Should be able to just kill this a little bit and put the 3 into the top right.
And while you're at it, you may as well hit the share button down on that bottom left-hand side of the screen. We would appreciate it. The more the merrier. We will do our best to keep you entertained as what we possibly can. But really at this point in a tournament, we really don't have to do a lot. The pool playing does a lot of the work for us.
There we go.
Only CSL, not BCA or VNEA.
No, you will be sanctioned for BCA one.
You will be, absolutely. So just to reiterate, so there's no confusion with Warren's post or comment, playing in the Ghost League, it will sanction you in BCA, ACS, CCS.
So
now the difference, BCA is singles at this point. We should have teams following this session that you can get sanctioned Ghost teams, where in ACS, CCS, that sanctioning does include both teams and singles.
So do you think he tries to clip this off and catch the 8, or does he go around 3 right?
I think you kind of got to play into that 8-ball.
Is he able to hit it thin enough to go by? And
I think you got to put some left-hand spin on it, though. Just grazed it. Caught the 7, so not terrible, but 6 to 7's looking a little tricky.
Well, if he tries to back it up for this, that's definitely going to be a tester. If he tries to go forward, it's probably an easier shot, but it's still pretty tricky.
Christopher on YouTube, I can tell you this is a 9-foot table. Look at this shot.
Oh, look at that pace.
Wow. What? How good was that? From downtown. Wow. So, yes, Christopher, this is a diamond 9-foot table.
The way they play, they must be 7 feet tall.
Yeah, right? They are not 7 feet tall, but it is a 9-foot table.
Oh, needs to roll. I think he got there. Potentially come around 3 rails for the 9.
Yes, for BCA, it would qualify you for BCA in 2023. For ACS, CCS, it does qualify you for this year. The only reason why BCA is next year is because they moved to the calendar year.
And here we are, Joe to the hill first.
Who doesn't want to see this go hill? I want to see this go hill. So I got to root for Ben on this game. I have to. I want to see it.
I think that goes back to the whole business partner thing.
It does. It does.
However, the more pool we see, the better too. So that's
Yes.
a good thing.
So these are some of the custom shirts that we've done, guys, with Jam Up Apparel. Excuse me. This is for the Billiard Congress of America. USA shirts for the Billiard Education Fund. So it was for the juniors. So our motto at Jam Up Apparel is with custom shirts, if you can think it, we can make it. That's the beauty of sublimation printing. Deborah says, I want to see a break and run.
Well, Joe's broken 2 with a fairly open table here, so that you might get your wish. Bit of a tester on the 1, but if he can come out for the 3, then he's got a good chance.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, that motto you have, that's much better than your old one. Their old one, just for the sake of argument, is that we won't be happy until you're not happy.
That's right.
I kid.
So, Rick, if you go onto the website, www.cslipl.com, when you get onto that site, just scroll down. You'll see all the different divisions. You can click on any of those divisions, and it has a description of the player as well as a loosely based Fargo rate that you will find as far as what to expect from players in each division. So you can self-assess. It does not have to be to the fact that you are within that Fargo rate, but we will protect those players ultimately from, as best as what we can on sandbaggers and that kind of stuff. We don't tolerate that stuff. But each individual division has a description of the type of player you'll find within it. Just curious, what kind of cues does Ben use? He uses a thumper break cue, and he plays with a Jacoby butt and a Jacoby black shaft.
And I don't know what Joe uses.
Yeah, we've actually worked, Rick, with the BEF for the last, I want to say 2 or 3 years with Jam Up Apparel in designing the juniors. And of course, we do what needs to be done for the juniors.
So it looks like Ben has decided rather than go for the jump, which is going to be a little tricky in the middle of the table, he's going to try and kick it.
I actually like this. The kick, if you hit on the high side of 1, is favorable to make the 1. On top of that, at the right pace, we'll put that cue ball off that right side rail and potentially use that 10-6 as blockers.
I was almost thinking going to the bottom rail first, but because that was what I'm worried about from a pace perspective.
He caught a little too thick on the 1 ball. I think if he was just a touch higher on that 1 ball, number one, it gets closer to that right-hand side pocket, but also carries a little bit more back into the table using that 10-6.
Well, and that's why I like going to the bottom rail is that the percentages of what good opportunities can happen, what bad opportunities can happen, right? And I think that going off the bottom gave you more opportunities for good things to happen, but we'll see.
Well, Joe's got a tougher shot here. Might have to play this forward 2 rails.
Yeah, I think what he has to do is just kind of leave it up at the first, second diamond up top there and take a longer shot on the 5. You don't want to risk going behind the 7.
Yeah, 7 does come into play for sure.
And with the 5, really all he has to do is hit it and basically stop it right there. And for the 6, he should be fine.
Hey, and you're welcome, Tyler. We appreciate you tuning in, as well as everybody else. Oh, that's awesome, Deborah. And welcome to Q Sports Live to Joe's mom, dad, family. Everybody tuning in on his side. Rooting him on. He's doing well here. Ooh, little bit flirtatious from Ben there.
Yeah,
Did he
think
get
he
to
just
that
got
far?
away with it. Yeah, he's going to have a look at it, but I think he can see it. It's a question, though, with that steep an angle, whether he can hold it, because I don't know if the 6 goes in the bottom right.
It doesn't look like it. Ben kind of just gave the table a swat.
So he might have to try and think about stunning this and seeing if he can just kind of hold it against that rail. Put a little check on it.
Yep. Yeah, I think that goes hand in hand with being a good player. Sometimes the rolls go in your favor, sometimes they don't. Oh, just give it a nice little bump right out into perfection. Beautiful shot.
I guess when you're as good as he is, you can just kind of do that instead.
Yeah, right? Christopher, YouTube, they are not playing on an 8-foot. It is a 9-foot table. So you can spit the fact all you want, but the fact is you are wrong. They are not playing on an 8-foot. It is a 9-foot diamond table.
I think Ben's a little bit perturbed that he got a little bit too straight or slightly wrong-sided on that one to go from the 8 to the 9.
We'll see if he just doesn't draw this back to that bottom right-hand side rail. So I know it's a little bit riskier. And he's kind of looking there. So even if he just gets back to where he's at, I think he can kind of play that 9 in and use that horn to his advantage.
Possibly. He's got to touch it at like just a very, very small angle. So he might be able to force it forward 2 rails. That's certainly the riskier shot of the 2, though.
So for those on Facebook, or sorry, on YouTube, where, you know, seems to be one in every group every time we stream, you can go and just hit remove or hide user on this channel.
Always seems to be one, is there?
Yeah, every time. But you can just click on that user and just hide the comments so that you don't have to see the nonsense.
And Joe has gone for the split shot and pushing it behind the 10, which he has succeeded on. That's a great shot. I think they're just checking to see whether it's frozen or not. Well, how tough is this shot given that missing it could likely be the match?
Sorry, Chris, I was paying attention.
No worries. Just talking about this particular shot on the 9. He's got absolutely
Oh,
no
look
room.
at this.
And
Wow.
wow. What a shot.
Wow.
I guess when the
To
only option is
force
genius,
Hill
then
Hill?
genius is what you need to do.
Right? To force Hill. Amazing.
Oh no, and he rattled it.
No.
Oh, that's a heartbreaker for him after making that great shot on the 9.
Wow.
And that will be the match.
Wow, what an unfortunate end to an amazing shot. Wow. I'm stunned.
Well, congrats to both. Joe for
Yeah,
winning.
you know what? Hey, they put on a show, and that at the end of the day, that's what matters. So congratulations to Joe, man. Played unbelievably well the entire weekend. What a match.
Yeah, and
what a match. What a finish.
And to Ben as well. He made some fantastic shots and generally great play all the way through this tournament.
Yeah, wow. I'm completely stunned. Crazy. Well, listen, guys, we appreciate it. Once again, we will be back live Q&A. So for those that had the questions on the CSL IPL, Ben and I will be back live Wednesday night, 7 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. We'll be able to answer any questions, give you the run through, how everything works. That'll all be ready to rock and roll Wednesday night, 7 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. Once again, guys, thanks again for a great weekend. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate Leather Pocket putting on the best shows, giving us the action to stream. Unbelievable. What a way to finish. Once again, guys, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you've gone onto our Facebook page, hit the like button, or onto our YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button and the little bell. That'll notify you each and every time that we go live. If you do have any questions, feel free to send us a message either on our Facebook page or through email, qsportslive@gmail.com. On behalf of myself, Chris, my man, sitting in, getting the job done with me. Thank you, Chris.
Thanks for having me for the day.
Was a great
tremendous.
Yeah, great day of commentating. I appreciate the help. On behalf of myself and Chris and the rest of the Q Sports Live team, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Join us again. We'll be back. Have a great night, y'all.